Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing on this beautiful Money Monday? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Money freaking Monday, June 6th, 8:30, and you guys know what time it is. What time is it? It is time to open up the floor for a 30 minutes open floor Q&A session. That's how we're starting our day's team every single morning. So if you were not here inside the chat last week, this is what to expect moving forward. All right, every single morning this live stream is up at 6 a.m. for you early birds that like coming in, locking in some profits early in the morning. Guess what? Streams open and chat's up 6 a.m. All right, I'm here in chat between 7 and 7:30 in the mornings, getting us prepared, dissecting these stocks, building that stock watch list in that morning stock newsletter for the day. At 8:30, I'm here inside the chat. I'm live on YouTube for a 30 minutes open floor Q&A session. You have any stocks you want me to look at? I can look at those stocks. You have any questions? I'm here to answer your questions. Right at 9 o'clock is when we officially start, right? That's our official start time for our pre-market commentary session to get you guys prepared for the day. That's when I'm gonna hit you with a good morning. And it's official, we're diving into it, 9:30. We're trading live until about 11:30. That's when we dive into our daily educational session, right? We're going to do those midday master classes, those midday workshops, get you guys educated, get you guys up and running. And then after that, nice little Q&A session to follow up after the lesson, guys. All right. So that's what to expect every single morning moving forward. So once again, good morning, traders. How we all doing today? Happy Monday. And shoot, if you guys have any questions, let me know. That's what this time is being used for. A little bit of a mic check, too. I removed some of those filters, guys. I removed a few filters over the weekend. So if you have any issues with audio, if you hear a lot of background noise, let me know. I'll make some more adjustments this week. Joey, what's up? Good morning. Mr. Ed, Nevis, Luke, Augie, what's up? Jason, Luz, Eddie, Johnson, Andrew, what's up, guys? Rod, Mr. Rod, what's up, buddy? Rob from the DNYC. J. Doss, AJ, Steve, Stir, Corey, Trading Girl Beth, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Boys and girls, how we all doing today? Mike's good? Fantastic. Fantastic. Thoughts on NVIDIA stock? I'm winning big at the moment. I like NVIDIA long term. Personally, I really do like NVIDIA long term. I liked it back in 2019, 2020, but I wasn't really a big time investor then. Now that I see a lot of these companies and these stocks down, 20, 30, 40, 45%, like Amazon, for example, I love these stocks. And I'm going to start building my long-term portfolio. This is something I've been talking to my team with for the past week. What stocks am I looking at buying? When am I going to start buying? And why? Most importantly, the why am I going to start buying as well? Literally, it's not just, hey, I'm buying these stocks. I'm explaining why I'm buying these stocks, the companies that I'm buying, when, why I'm waiting for another probably 2-3 weeks. But yeah, I like NVIDIA long term. Absolutely. And we look at NVIDIA right now. What's this down year to date? I mean, from 346, those prior all-time highs. I mean, how much is NVIDIA down right now? I mean, at one point we were down 54%. NVIDIA is down 44% right now, right? Amazon, same thing. Amazon's down like 40 to 42%. These are great A+ solid companies in my opinion. I'm absolutely looking to add these to my long-term portfolio. Yes, absolutely, Joey. Thank you. If you like the stream, please smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to the channel, hit that little notification bell so when we go live, you guys know that we are live. Because here coming on up, you may see us going live in the evenings, Monday through Friday. It's not set in stone yet. But again, smash the like button, smash subscribe, hit that little notification. So if we do start going live in the evenings, you guys know to come on over, tune in, because we're always dropping those value bombs. We're always getting you guys educated. We're always trying to help you guys out. Trader Girl Bet, what's up? How we doing? So again, team, we are all set, ready to rock on this beautiful Money Monday. Hit me with some questions, guys. That's why we're doing this right now. I wanted to know if your thoughts on SDS, SPXU, that's the ETF on SPY and options, you know, like UVXY. Yeah, I mean, SPXU is a really nice inverse ETF, right? SPXU, if I'm not mistaken, is the other inverse ETF, SPXU. Pro Shares, Ultra Short, S&P. I mean, I do like this. So I like SPXU when we're looking at the S&P 500, just like I like SQs when I'm looking at the Qs. So my thoughts on SPXU is it's another inverse ETF that I do trade, right? So if I see that the SPY looks like it's going to start dumping, I would want to go long on SPXU. I would want to go long potentially on UVXY, right? Just like if I think the Qs are going to start dumping, I could look to go long on SQQQ, which is an inverse ETF. So it's going to do the opposite of what these ETFs are doing. So absolutely. I do like SPXU, and it is something that is on one of my watch lists. And when we see a lot of volatility and a lot of movement, 6 to 10 point swings in the market, absolutely, those inverse ETFs are fantastic to get involved with, right? I mean, it's a great way to make some nice cash in the market for sure. But SDS, I haven't really looked at SDS before. It's another inverse ETF. SDS is 43 bucks. If you look at it right now, it's currently down about 2%, and the SPY's up about 5 points. So if you look at the SPY's up 5 points. This inverse ETF is currently down 2%. If you go look at SPXU, right? SPXU is down about 3.4% when the SPY's currently up about 5 points. If you go look at UVXY, another very popular inverse ETF, this one right now is down about 3%. So you can kind of see they're down about 2 to 3% right now, and the SPY's up about 5 points here in pre-market. Joey, where is a good entry on DIDI? So that is going to be one of the top stocks I'm watching out of the gate. Right now, it seems like the volume's a little scattered. The attention's a little just kind of all over the place. We don't really have that one stock that really is stealing the show and stealing the volume. So right now, DIDI looks the best, and it's going to be one of the top stocks I'm watching right out of the gate. Everything else is purely on the back burner, and what I'm going to be doing is looking at our high of the day momentum scanners, our breakout scanners, looking to see if any of these other back burner stocks start getting that attention, start getting that volume, and that's when I shift. But out of the gate, I probably have two stocks that I'm looking at. DIDI is one of them, and I see support on DIDI back down at 289 if we crack below $3. So you got $3 psychological support at this point in time. $3 could hold up now that we broke above with pretty decent volume. But if you do see it back below 3, you can see it back down at 289 support. And right now, resistance on DIDI is right around 335 at this point in time. So good entry. For me, I would like to see it fall back below 3, tap that 289, maybe an entry right around 289 for the push back above 3. Then we could really see some nice action into the 330s. I think that would be a good plan here on DIDI. Right now, I wouldn't be a buyer right here at 307 personally. And the main reason I wouldn't be a buyer is if you're buying it right here, you know you need to lock in profits in the 330s. That's about 25 cents a profit. Stops that have to go below that level of support, that's 22 cents of risk. So you're risking just about what you're looking to make. Not a good risk reward setup in my opinion, not a good win ratio. So I would have to sit back on DIDI at this point in time and see if we can pull back towards around that 289 for a lower risk, higher reward setup. But yeah, the float on DIDI is very large, right? It's 4 billion in float. Can this stock move? Yeah, it can. We've seen it move before in the past, right? We've seen DIDI go from 260 in a day to $4. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot to get this thing going. That day that we moved up from around 260 to 4, we traded about 400 million shares. We're trading 36 million right now. So we got to 10x that if in order to see a nice dollar plus move out of DIDI today. So maybe can you catch 30, 40 cents out of it slow and steady? Absolutely. You can catch 30, 40 cents out of it slow and steady, but don't expect it to be ripping $2 in a single minute. Jason, very new to trading, looking to get started. With that being said, what advice do you have for starters? What should I look into and what should I prepare for? So the number one tip that I have for brand new traders in the market, number one tip I have, okay, do not start with technical analysis. Please don't. You're hurting yourself more than you're doing good. If you come into the market with the expectations on figuring this out in 30 days and you're ready to fund a real account and you're just going to focus on strategies and setups and the holy golden nuggets of stock trading, right? Those $1 million setups, it's not going to happen. Okay. And that's where a lot of new traders fail is they come in, they fund a live account and they're out here just trading and they don't even know how to trade yet. So I'd say the number one tip is don't focus on TA in the beginning. Focus on mindset. Focus on really becoming disciplined and following a set of rules. Work on that mindset. Work, just on those internals, right? Those internals. I was actually listening to a podcast today. I mean, again, I start off my days, guys, with motivation, with mindset, whatever it takes in the mornings to get my mind right. So I was listening to a podcast today. It was a great podcast. And I want to share a couple things from the podcast with you because it does play a huge factor into stock trading, right? So there was a study done, and there was a person on this podcast, and there was a study done, and they were studying the habits of highly successful people, millionaires, billionaires, the habits of highly successful people. And what they come to find out is that they have these unconscious good habits, right? Because we know that 90% of our brain power, 90% is all subconscious. That little voice in the back of your head that just speaks to you, right? That little voice that says you're bad, you're good, you're doing a shit job, you're doing a great job, right? It's that subconscious. 10% is actually conscious. But what they realized is that these successful individuals have really been able to rewire their subconscious, that unconscious habits. And that's what drives, again, 90 to 95% of their success is their mindset, right? It's their inner game. It's not the external stuff. It's not the technical analysis. It's not the marketing. It's not the sales. It's not going to the gym and getting buff. 90% of their success is their inner game, right? It's their mindset, right? Are they disciplined? Are they patient? And that's really what you have to focus on as a trader is your inner game is what we're going to start calling it. That inner game, that mindset, the discipline, the patience, understanding that you're going to lose as a stock trader and be able to accept that ahead of time. Being disciplined to say, I'm not going to fund a live account day one. I'm going to go into a simulator account because that's why they're there. And really focus on those internals, right? That inner game, really strengthen that mindset and get that discipline down under your belt, those emotion control, right? Be able to suppress those emotions in the heat of the moment when we're trading with real money and risking real money. I would say focus on that and really try to work on that inner game first. Then work on your external game. That's going to be what's a candlestick, what's a VWAP, what's the 9 EMA, what are strategies. If you go in that process, work on your inner game, then the external game, the TA, your odds of success greatly go up. And I preach this every single day for the past year and a half, right? It was really cool that I listened to that podcast today. And they were talking just about that, what do the very successful people have in common? That they've tapped into that subconscious and they've rewired that subconscious to think nothing but positive things. And that's 95% to that subconscious, right? And they just work on their inner game, their mindset, the discipline aspect, being humble, being happy, being positive, thinking positive things, and everything like that. We're just really training their mindset. So that's what I would work on in the beginning and then decide to start, looking, into education for technical analysis and things like that. And that's probably a weird answer that not a lot of people expect. A lot of people say, yeah, go Go watch this lesson on, technical analysis and candles. I disagree. I think that's the wrong approach, in my opinion. I think the best approach is to work on the inner game first and then work on that external game. Steve, good morning. Johnny Holmes, what's up, buddy? Good morning. Lambo Guy, good morning, and officially welcome to the Alpha Day Trading family. Everybody inside of chat, let's give Lambo Guy a warm welcome and welcome him to the Alpha Day Trading family. We love having you here. We are excited to work with you inside of chat, and our goal is to get you inside of Profits chat consistently every single day. So once again, Lambo Guy, welcome to the team. Already, this is as good as it gets. 100%. This is as good as it gets right here. One of the best teams, one of the best family of traders. We're all here to help you and support you to make sure you're successful in the stock market. So welcome. CEO saying, good morning. This live is life. I love it. This live is life. And also, Lambos. We're all working for those Lambos, right? 100%, baby. 100%. All right, we got 15 more minutes until we officially dive into our pre-market commentary session, ladies and gentlemen. So you have about 14 to 15 minutes to smack me with some questions, right? To hit me with some questions. Let it go. Let's make it happen, guys. Charles, what's up, boss? Over on TikTok. Good morning, Charles. AQUA, Aqua. So the first thing that stands out to me is just we have some resistance here at your 20 EMA. So you've seen that we came up here on Thursday. We tapped the 20 EMA. We opened up Friday. We tried to push above it. We couldn't. We saw a little bit of less volume move in. And that 20 EMA is going to be a level that we need to keep on watch. You can see in the past how the stock likes to tap that 20 EMA and bounce off of it, falls below the 20 EMA, likes to hold it down as a level of moving resistance. So I would be looking right around this 36.85 level. Not only is 36.85 your 20 EMA, you also have multiple rejection points off that level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 rejection points right around 36.85, and it's right around the 20 EMA. So that's a good level of resistance. But what happens when we break resistance? It turns into support, potentially. So we see that break and we see it turn into support. We can start to possibly fill that daily gap between 37.50 and 38.70. We have a nice little daily gap that could be filled. But if we cannot break above that 36.85 level and we continue to get rejected, you could see it back down at like 35 and then back down into like that 34.30 level there on AQUA. I love it. Placid, we may see some action today on MULN. MULN, as it was announced that they will become a part of the Russell 2000 and Russell 3000 indexes effective on June 27th. That's over on MULN. You guys know me with MULN. It's one of those stocks that's, in my opinion, difficult to trade. It's a large float stock. It doesn't really move the cleanest, the most consistently. You get a lot of false breakouts, a lot of false cracks. This is definitely one of those stocks that you have to be willing to like scale in, scale out of. In my opinion, find multiple levels of support and build a plan to scale in. If it drops below, scale in. Drops below, scale in. We see these, support levels crack with ease, crack with ease, crack with ease, and then out of nowhere, randomly, the stock starts ripping on up. So I would say MULN is one of those stocks that if I were to trade it, it would have to be a scale in approach just to build a nice position with a good cost basis and look for that pretty random, crack below support and then that immediate, rebound follow through and a nice little move to the upside. That's how I would trade MULN because, every now and then MULN can be challenging to day trade. Longer term trades, not as hard, pretty easy. So that's why I suggest you more of like a scale in approach on something like MULN. Just because if you crack this level, you're not getting stopped out just to watch it rip. You could look to scale in, scale in, scale in, etc. Build a nice position and look for that overall move to the upside, that bigger picture move to the upside. Definitely a possibility. We got a newbie question. No such thing. I mean, yeah, we got newbie questions, but I like the fact that you're stepping up asking that question. We were all newbies at one point, right? We're all day one at one point in our trading career. So if a pre-market order has been placed and the stock pre-market is growing, going up, do you have to put in another order, or does your order still apply and get filled? So for example, in pre-market, let's say you wanted to buy MULN at 148. Number one, you're going to have to use a limit order. Market orders do not work. So you have to use a limit order. Number two, you're going to have to change your time in force, right? Most brokers have a TIF, a time in force, that's normally by default set to day. So that's going to be between the hours of 9:30 and 4 o'clock. If you want to trade pre-market or post-market, you need to change that TIF to EXT, which stands for extended hours. And then you'll actually be able to buy and sell in pre-market and post-market, but you have to use a limit order, right? A limit order to be able to get in and get out in pre-market and post-market. And then you have to change that time in force from day to extended. Jim, holding MULN from Friday, where should you start selling? Well, a couple levels that I'll point out, pretty just basic, I would say they're basic levels. I would say the first level that I would consider locking in some profits would be up towards around the 50 SMA, which is also Wednesday spiking high at 166. So if I were to, if I were in MULN from say, Friday, and I own the stock around 130, I would probably not go, into a loss on the trade. I would be scaling out. If it starts dumping, I would be taking some profit along a leg down if we start to see a pretty nasty leg down. But if we do continue to see MULN moving to the upside, nice, slow, steady, I would take some profits right around 166. It's going to be Wednesday spiking high in the 50 SMA as well. If you ever see that 166 break, I would be locking in some profits around 194 as well. Just because we have some resistance between 194 and $2. So those are like two levels today. If we see those levels hit, I would scale out a little bit. Maybe lock in 10, 20% at your first level, 10, 20% at your second level. You still have a good, 60%, maybe 70% of your position on the table. If this stock does continue to rip and run in the coming weeks, leading up to MULN being included in the Russell 2000 and the Russell 3000. Asif, good morning. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. So that's another stock that I will be talking about. It's QNRX. It was a stock that I was going to be watching right out of the gate, but it's dumping on off here in pre-market. That's the only thing I don't like is it's dumping on off. Look at DIDI. It's not dumping on off. It's actually holding up and it's still moving higher. QNRX, big rip. Now it's just dumping on off, guys. And I don't like that. So QNRX, I'm probably going to move it over to the back burner and just see if there's any volume that does move back into the stock today. You do have support. Let's go ahead and remove that. I would throw your decent little support level back down at 73 cents. So if we can see QNRX holding above 73 cents, that's a good first sign. We could see it move off that level back up to 93 cents. There was some good news today on QNRX. They're receiving US FDA acceptance on their new investigational drug. So you do have a good catalyst on QNRX. But QNRX at this point in time is giving a lot back at this point in time. It's a low float stock. It's 5 million in float, so we know the stock can move. It's trading really nice volume compared to the average. So we could still see some potential today with QNRX. We have the catalyst, nice low float stock, good volume in pre-market. But right now it's just it's given a lot back. That's the only thing. What do I think about Tesla this week? So my whole approach with Tesla, Amazon, Square, Airbnb, Home Depot, AMD, NVIDIA, right? No matter what stock it is, okay? My approach this week is really looking at the SPY and the Qs, all right? The SPY and the Qs. If the SPY and the Qs have a decent week, let's see, I think there's going to be chop this week. We do have CPI data coming out Friday. I expect to see the market more or less choppy leading up to the CPI data. I don't expect it to rip to the upside. I don't expect it to dump to the downside. I expect it to be more or less choppy, right? Now, maybe a slow, choppy grind to the upside leading up to the CPI data. Then we could absolutely look at these individual stocks to play to the long side as well. I'll be looking at like Amazon after the split, assuming the overall market's healthy, slowly grinding on up. We could definitely see some, independent action with Amazon. It can move on its own and not really correlate so tight with the SPY and the Qs. We can see Square setting up for us. We can see Airbnb setting up for us. So it really depends on the overall market, what Tesla's going to do, what Amazon's going to do, what Apple's going to do. If I'm wrong and it's not choppy and the market is volatile leading up to the CPI data, we really need to be watching the SPY and the Qs, because if the SPY and the Qs are running to the upside, these individual stocks like Amazon, NVIDIA, AMD, Apple will move to the upside and correlate with these indexes and with these ETFs. If we see the markets selling off, then you definitely don't want to be going long on Amazon. You don't want to be going long on Apple or NVIDIA, because we'll see these individual stocks correlate with these ETFs and these indexes. All right. But if we just have slow, choppy action, less volatility, that could absolutely help these individual stocks move a little bit. Right. So it really depends on the SPY and the Qs, guys. 100%. All right, so 4 minutes, and we're going to officially dive into it, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go ahead and drop that stream over on TikTok, right? Stream's coming down at 9 a.m. here on TikTok. If you guys want to continue to trade with us live for the next 45 minutes, get prepared for the day, trade with us live. Maybe we have some quick wins and some great opportunity out of the gate like we had on Friday with SOPA, right? As we're dissecting it, breaking it down, literally built a plan for you guys, produced a quality alert, and within 10 minutes, that stock ripped up 40, 50 cents. And you guys made a lot of great cash. So again, if we find that opportunity, let's get prepared and let's make it happen so you guys can get some quick wins. If not, I still want to take the time to get you guys prepared, obviously, so you know exactly what we're looking at for the day and what my expectations are for the day as well. So again, if you guys want to join us and continue to trade with us, join us over on YouTube. It's Alpha Day Trading. Links in the bio. We'll be live for another 45 minutes. Let's get you guys prepared, and let's help you guys find the opportunity and lock in some profits. I'll see you guys over on YouTube. Spaz, what's up, buddy? Good morning. One tall, cool one. What's up, boss? Good morning. Again, we got about 2 minutes. We're officially diving into it, team. Sorry, the webcam got really blurry there, didn't it? Like, Jesus, like really blurry. I'm just trying to see why it's not focusing. Wow. All right, good thing we got a minute to go. Let me fix that. It's really, really blurry, huh? Oh, that's better now. That was weird. Just out of nowhere. Just got better. Fantastic. We good. Good morning, Jamie. What's up? All right. Okay. So we have a little tool in here. It's moderating the chat for me on YouTube, and it's this is the first one I saw. It says stop spamming caps warning. All right, again, I haven't set it up. It was day one of just integrating it. I haven't gone through to set it up, just so you guys know. All right, so it's 8:59. It's soon enough. It's close enough. So let's go ahead and dive into it officially, ladies and gentlemen. Good Good morning, traders. What's up and what's going on? And happy Money Monday. It is almost 9 a.m. in the market. We have 30 minutes until that ring-a-ding-ding, that opening bell. And team, we're going to have an awesome day in the market. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Alpha Day Trading. Oh yeah, baby, the absolute best day trading community for traders. And you know why it's the best? Because you, ladies and gentlemen, traders inside of chat, absolutely make it the best. And you know what our number one goal is. Our number one goal is to make you successful in the stock market. And how do we do that? Again, personalized education. To really sum it up, to keep it simple, personalized education. The willingness to work with you guys one-on-one, to be very transparent, to be upfront, honest, and open, live trade with you guys, provide that education throughout the day, show you guys my P&L, explaining the trades that I'm taking, why I'm taking them. Not only are you learning in the moment on the trades that I'm taking, not only are you learning from my successes, you're learning from my failures as well. So that's one of the biggest reasons why we are the best, because we are the most honest, open, transparent, credible, and we personalize that trading experience for you guys. And we take a different approach. We really focus on that mindset, those internals, right? That internal game. Before we really dive into trading with real money, before we dive into technical analysis, I want to get that mind right so you guys can approach the market in the right way and have better odds of success in the stock market. So team, as you guys know, I'm always fired up and excited to see what the market has in store for us today. And I'm more excited to work with each and every one of you guys inside of chat to help you accomplish your goals and to overall make money in the stock market, guys. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and dive into our pre-market preparation session to get you prepared for the day and up to speed on where the best opportunity is in the market today. So get fired up because we're hitting it hard and we're going to have another awesome day in the market. So here's my game plan. Options, SPY and Qs, right? Just to go ahead and hit that on the head. My game plan for today, my focus, 80 to 90% of my focus remains on the SPY and the Qs. I do expect to see the market relatively choppy this week. Why? We do have CPI data scheduled to be released on June 10th. That's this Friday at 8:30 a.m. So this Friday, 8:30 a.m., we will have CPI data, okay? Again, we need to see what those expectations are, what that CPI data comes in at. How is the market going to react? Neutral, positively, negatively? Again, I do expect to see some choppiness, right? That's my expectations, choppiness leading up into the CPI data here on Friday. But again, anything could happen. We could see the markets rip into the 420s, right? We can see the markets dump back down to the 400s. Anything could happen. But I expect the market to be relatively choppy. So I'll be watching the SPY and the Qs to get a sense of direction, to get a sense of price action. And really depending on what the SPY and the Qs do are going to dictate our actions if we're looking at Amazon after the split, if we're looking at Square, if we're looking at Airbnb, Nvidia, AMD, Apple. It's determined by what the SPY and the Qs are doing. So that's why 80 to 90% of my focus still remains on the SPY and the Qs at this point in time, okay? With penny stocks, right now, my game plan is to really sit back and wait to see where the volume goes at 9:30, right? There's a lot of stocks with a lot of great potential, but my focus is, all right, let's find one or two stocks that have the best potential right at 9:30 and focus there. Watch that high day momentum scanner, watch that breakout scanner, watch that halt resume scanner, and see what stock on our watch list is starting to move on up to get that action. So there's opportunity, because volume equals activity and activity equals profit. We need volume on a stock so it's active. If it's active, it's moving. And if it's moving, we can identify an opportunity to be able to lock in some profits on that stock. And right now, the volume is a little scattered. It's a little all over the place. There's not really one stock that's just stealing the focus, right? But let's go ahead and dive through these stocks individually and build that main watch list, one or two stocks, everything else on the back burner. And if we start to see these stocks moving on up today, there is some good potential and there is some great opportunity. So number one, team, we have QNRX. So QNRX announces they're going to receive US FDA acceptance for their investigational new drug, QNRX, trading very good volume. So I like the volume. It's higher than the average daily volume. And it's a nice low float stock. It's 5 million in float. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that we ripped on up and then we're just giving everything back, just about everything. We do have some support around 73 cents on QNRX. Okay, so we do have some support right around 73 cents on QNRX. And, you know, we could see that 73-cent level hold. If we see that 73-cent level hold, we could see it back up to 82 cents and then back up towards around these spiking highs from pre-market, right around, I would call it 90 cents. And if we ever see QNRX breaking above 90 cents, your next main level of resistance will be $1. What does this stock do in the past? Now, this stock has some decent green days, right? We see when we have some decent volume, we have some decent action, right? We don't gap up, we don't give a lot back, right? We have some decent, consistent movement here when we look at the daily chart. But here recently, the last time that we gapped up, we had a quick spike and we dumped on off. We gapped up, we dumped on off, right? But we don't see a lot of that. We don't see a ton of gap ups. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess we do. We see this gap up here to $5, we dump on off to 233. But I would say like recently, within the last, couple of months, there hasn't really been tons of gap ups or tons of gap downs. The last gap up we had, 144, spiked to 150, we dumped on off. But we can see here that when we have a relative open, right, we're not a big gap up, but we gap up maybe a little bit or open relatively flat, and we have volume that day, we see that there's some decent action. So it really depends on how the stock opens. If this stock rips back up to 90 cents before the open, I would think that you'll get a quick spike and then it will fade all day. But if we continue to fade in pre-market before the open and we don't have that big of a gap up, right? It's relatively small and we see that great daily volume, we could see some great action today on QNRX based on what the stock's done in the past. So we'll absolutely keep that on watch. It really depends on how this bad boy opens on what my expectations would be. And again, we do have some support down towards around 73 cents. If you ever start cracking below 73 cents, watch for the stock to come back down to 61 cents right around Friday's close. All right, so we will be watching QNRX, probably one of the top stocks out of the gate, just to see what this stock does. But I do know I'm watching DIDI as my number one stock out of the gate, right? So why is DIDI moving? So DIDI Global surges 50% as Beijing looks to end cybersecurity probe. And we do have some other stocks moving on up today, Chinese-related stocks at this point in time. So there was the article, where's it at? Blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. Where's it at? I had that article posted up. Maybe I threw it up inside of alerts today. I think I did. Scrolling on up. Give me 1 second. I'm pretty sure I did post that we do have a lot of movements with some of these Chinese-related stocks. I cannot actually find what stock it was, and I am literally right now just scrambling to find that. I had it posted up. We were all set ready to rock, and now I think I removed it from my watch list. So again, shares of several, here we go. Benzinga this morning, shares of several Chinese stocks are trading higher after Chinese regulators completed their investigation of ride-hailing company DIDI with a seamlessly positive outcome. So now you even have BABA moving on up this morning as well. So you could see some of these Chinese-related stocks moving on up. You have BABA moving on up. You have DIDI moving on up. And I will be watching DIDI today to see if we get some action. But here's the only thing with DIDI, guys. It's a $4 billion in float stock. As a day trader, I like low float stocks, right? I want to see a $5 million in float, $8 million in float, something low where we can see that stock rip, 50 cents with ease, $1, a couple of bucks. DIDI is a $4 billion in float stock, $4 billion. And the last time that we actually had a decent move, right? The stock went from around 260 up to $4. Pretty decent move. That day we traded 400 million shares. So far today, we're trading less than the average. Okay, we're trading about 40 million shares, on average 60 million shares. So we definitely need to see much more volume move in order to see, 50-cent move, maybe $1 move today, because again, the float is so freaking large. But right now you do have some support back down around 289. If you do start cracking below 289, you do have potential to come back down to 265. And if you start cracking that 265, honestly, this thing could fade back down to $2. So you really don't want to see it lower than 265 today. Ideally, you'd like to see it holding above right around that 288-ish level, 288, 289. If we can hold $3, even better, but I don't think it's going to. I think it's getting ready to crack 3, come back down to 288, and that's where I want to watch it, because you have prior resistance, you have a breakout level from pre-market at 288, and your VWAP is sitting right there at 289. So I would expect to see DI crack 3, come back down towards around 288, 289, and that's where I think the best level of support is for the best possible entry on the stock. Back up to 3, breaking over 3. I would say back up to these pre-market highs, and we see resistance at 312, and we could potentially see 335 today. We could, but it's such a large float. We need to see much more volume move in before we actually really see that action with DI. All right, but it is going to be a stock that I'm watching right out of the gate because it looks to be one of the cleanest and most consistent stocks here in pre-markets. Okay, so I'll be watching DI as one of the top stocks out of the gate. You do have YMTX moving today as well, guys. So you got YMTX announcing definitive agreements for 2 strategic transactions. YMTX is actually number 2 on the leaderboard. It's trading phenomenal volume. It's trading 8 million shares on average, less than 500. So we have great volume. We have some attention today with YMTX. It is gapping up almost 50%, and it's a low float stock, which I like. So we have a catalyst, nice low float stock, trading great volume. Friday had a little decent day on Friday. I do like the stock, and I do think the stock could go on a nice little move today. All right, so we do have room right around 250. All right, that spiking high right around 249, and it's right around that gap level. So you can see here that we closed and then we gapped down right around $2. Where did we close? Right around that 249, 250. Where was that spiking high from March 21st? Right around that 249 to 250. So that's going to be a very strong level of resistance today here on YMTX. But if we do start breaking that 250 level, that shows strength. We could see the stock pushing up to $3, right? We're just looking left. We can see the stock push up towards around 338. We can see the stock up towards around 379 to $4. And then maybe if this is the number 1 stock that really steals the action in the volume, we could see that 200 SMA at 436. Do I think it's going to hit 436? I doubt it. You have a lot of resistance along the way up. But do I think there's some opportunity? I do think there's some opportunity today with YMTX. Okay, so at this point in time, I will be watching YMTX right out of the gate, back down towards around 169 support. So we do have some support right around 169 on YMTX, and you could run a nice little trend line on this play as well. Okay, so just put a trend line here on YMTX. If you ever crack this trend line, watch for it to dump back down towards around 169. If you hold this trend line, look for a quick spike back up to pre-market highs, which I think you can get right now at this point in time, up to 249. So if you're considering a pre-market trade, I would put stops below the 90 MA. I would put stops below the VWAP. I'd put stops below the trend line. I would put a stop maybe right around 204 if I'm looking for a pre-market trade. I would look to lock in profits around 227. And then my main target here, which I think we'll get if we do start to push here, you can lock in a lot of your profits up towards around 249 to 250, guys. So we do have YMTX. I will be watching the stock today right out of the gate. All right. The next group of stocks that I list off, okay, these are on my back burner. I'm not going to spend too much time on these stocks. I'm just going to list them off real quick to let you know they're on my back burner. They are stocks that I'm watching, but it really comes down to when these stocks get volume, that's when we look at them. Out of the gate, I think there's better opportunity. YMTX, good opportunity. DI, good opportunity. QNRX, good opportunity, right? Those 3 stocks I'm watching right out of the gate. CRIS is going to be a back burner stock today. We have some news. Okay, there is some volume, there's some movement. I will be watching CRIS to see if there's any opportunity or if there's a reason to get involved. Okay, a lot of these other stocks are going to be prior day movers that still have phenomenal opportunity. Because what have we been seeing in the market? A lot of these top gaining stocks, aren't really doing much. SOPA, we nailed SOPA on Friday, right? Not just the trade plan that we built with you guys there in pre-market. Not just to give you that quick win, but when we were dissecting SOPI, I said, I would expect a quick spike out of the gate and then an all-day fade. Why? Based on that daily chart. And that's exactly what happened. It popped very quickly out of the gate and then it just faded all day. All right. So market conditions are a lot of these top gaining stocks in pre-market that have news, that have a reason to move. 80 to 90% of them are not doing too much. They're very choppy, they're fading, or maybe they're just slowly grinding to the upside. A lot of our opportunity in the market for penny stocks are prior day movers, right? So what are some prior day movers that we have that we should be watching? Maybe EFOI, guys. This stock was a great stock last week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it had potential, right? So I will be watching EFOI today to see if it moves again. And if it does, we can get prepared. And we already know this stock because we were trading it last week. VERU, another stock that I called out on Friday, guys. VERU, I said it has potential to 15. We got within 10 cents of 15 bucks on VERU. Was a very nice, slow, steady grind throughout the day. We absolutely nailed it. I want to be watching VERU once again for today. IMTE, we just broke that 50 SMA and we just broke $10. On Friday, nice break, nice hold above 10, above the 50 SMA as well. I do want to watch IMTE to see if we continue the grind on up here. Simply, I'm looking for IMTE just to break over this 1250, hold 1250, and start to go on a nice little move here on IMTE. I think IMTE has some great potential. I will be watching that stock. RGNX, I'll be watching this stock as well. Someone called it out on TikTok. Someone called this stock out over on YouTube. And I said, you know what? It definitely shows potential. Light volume, but potential. So I'll be watching RGNX as well, guys, above this $22 level, the area in which we broke out of, to see if we can start to get a nice little move, maybe up towards around 24 bucks. If it sets up, if there's potential, I'll definitely bring it to your guys' attention. And then I will be watching QUBT as well because I do like the daily chart. I like how we just broke out above 244 on Friday. Again, very light volume on the stock, but I think we can start to see some volume move in, potentially pushing this up towards around $3. So QUBT is a back burner stock that I will be watching throughout today and this week. RGNX throughout today and this week. IMTE as well. VERU and EFOI. Okay, but my top stocks that I'm watching right out of the gates, YMTX, DIDI, and QNRX. Okay, let's talk about the SPY and the Qs. Time to transition away from penny stocks over to the broader market, the SPY and the Qs. So Friday was a choppy day, right? Friday was a very choppy day. I mean, Thursday, we hit that 407, we ripped to 417. We moved 10 points, super clean, super consistent there on Thursday. Friday was a mess, right? Friday was so choppy, so challenging to trade. And I do expect the market to be kind of like Friday, right? I do expect to see some direction. I expect to see some movement, but choppy movement, choppy direction, kind of like what we saw there on Friday. So just a couple levels that I want to point out to you guys right now at this point in time. Okay, a couple key levels that we need to keep on watch. High watch. Back down at Friday's lows. Okay, so number one, back down at Friday's lows around 409.62. That's going to be some support if we do indeed start to crack and fall on off. If we start to crack below this 409.62, you guys remember that 407 level? We would have some room down the 407 here on the SPY. Now, if we ever start cracking that 407, I expect to see a couple of these gaps filled. We have a gap that needs to be filled right around 405.40 here on the SPY. And if we crack below that 405.40, that's when I think we start really moving down quickly, aggressively, fast. Where to? Another gap fill here, down towards around 397, right? So really it comes down, first things first, that 409.62. If we ever see this cracking below 409.62 today or sometime this week, we have great opportunity down to 407. Below 407, we have a runner to fill the gap right around 405.40. If we crack 405.40, watch for this thing back down to 400 and then back down to 397. Okay, so if we see these levels crack today or sometime this week, we know exactly how to trade this and exactly where we should be locking in some profits. All right, guys? Now, what if the stock doesn't move on down? What if the stock doesn't start cracking, right? What if this starts breaking on out and breaking some of these levels of resistance? Where could we see the SPY go? Okay, so right now I want to point out Friday's high a day. So Friday's high a day here on the SPY is right around 414. So if we can stay above 414 today on the SPY, we could see it move back up towards around Thursday's high, right around 417.36. Okay, so we have some decent opportunity, right? 414 support. If we see it hold on up intraday and we're not cracking below 414, boom, we can see it up towards around 417.36 and maybe even that 418.60, right, to the long side. Now, if we ever start breaking that 417.36 and 418.60, I still believe we could see the SPY up towards around the 50 SMA. All right, so that would be one of my final main targets here on the SPY to the long side before I expect to see the SPY going on its next leg down back below 400, back below 397, back into the 390s and 380s. Do I think that could happen? Yes. Do I think the SPY has another leg down before we actually find a bottom, before we actually start moving back on up? Yes, I do. So I'm going to trade what the market's giving me today. If it's giving me a long opportunity, let's go long. If it's giving me a short opportunity, let's get short. That's for our day trades. Bigger picture, if we ever see that beautiful rejection off that 50 SMA, we see the CPI come out, PPI data. We have the FOMC meeting this month as well. There's so many things that are going to move this market. I think we could see the 50 SMA before actually getting that next leg down. And yes, I still think we have more room to the downside in the overall market, guys, before we actually put in that bottom. I really do. But we got to take it one day at a time. One day, one report, one piece of data at a time. So once again, if you're holding above 414, we can see 417.36 and 418.60. If we ever see those two levels of resistance break, I would expect to see the SPY up towards around the 50 SMA. Now, if we start cracking below this 414 level, we want to start thinking about building a plan to the short side back down to Friday's lows. And that's going to be right around 409.62. And you guys know exactly where we would look to take this if we crack below 409.62. Down to around 407. Fill the gap right around 405.40. Back down to 400, and then possibly filling that gap down towards around 397.34. And that's going to be here on the SPY. So it really just depends what we start doing around 414, right? If we start holding a support, let's think about calls today, right? Up to those levels of resistance. If we're cracking below 414 and we're cracking below 413, watch for the SPY to come back down towards around 409.62. And we'd be thinking to build a plan for puts, all right? So we just need to sit back and wait to see what happens right at 9:30, all right? The Qs. Very same analysis, right? Similar analysis, just different price levels, okay? So same thing with the Qs, guys, right? We do have Friday support down towards around 305. That's going to be Friday's low a day, okay? Where was Friday's high? Well, Friday's spiking high was right around this 310.86. But where was Friday's open? That's a level that I want to pay attention to here on the Qs. It's going to be Friday's open right around 30, let's just call it 309 to make it easy, okay? So if the Qs can actually stay above the open from Friday, right around 309, we could start to see the Qs make a decent little move, right? We could see the Qs up towards around maybe like 312.61. You got Thursday's resistance spiking high around 314.44. And then same thing, guys, same analysis. I think if we start breaking these levels of resistance, you will see a test of that 50 SMA before we see that next leg down. All right, so a couple levels that we need to pay attention to. 309 support. That's going to be Friday's open. Right now, we can see we're really just chopping around Friday's spiking highs right around 310.45. So that's a level to pay attention to as well as this 310.45. But if we're not really doing much around that 310.45, your better level of support back down at 309. Okay. Now, if we can see the Qs open and the market open and we see a nice little green day, a nice little push, and we still have this nice little bear market rally ahead of us. Okay. We can see the Qs up towards around 312.61, then 314.44, and then breaking over that high and that resistance there from Thursday. I do believe we can see right around 325, which is your 50 SMA. All right, guys. So again, same thing, same analysis, same approach. I expect to see the markets choppier this week, not really moving like we saw here, not really going from 285 to 310 in 3 days. I expect to see more what we saw here last week. Sideways, choppiness, action. No real sense of direction, no big breaks, no big dumps. I expect to see more sideways action. Maybe it's slowly grinding to the upside. Maybe it's slowly grinding to the downside. I don't expect to see 10-point swings in a day. Now, if I'm wrong and we actually have volatility and it's not slow and choppy, well, that's fine. Let's go, because we have a plan in place. We know exactly the levels that we want to take this to the long side. We know exactly the levels that we want to take this to the short side. We just have to wait for that opportunity to present itself. I don't care if it's a long, I don't care if it's a short, right? There's going to be some great day trade opportunity if we see that volatility, guys. Okay, I just don't think we will. But I do think the Qs and the SPY have more room to the downside. And I want them to fall again. I do. I want to see the Qs fall again. I want to see the SPY fall again. I'm greedy. I want to see the SPY and the Qs dropping because I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to start adding companies to my long-term portfolio. I'm ready. And I want to see the SPY and the Qs come back down one more time before we find that bottom in the summer months. And I still think we could see that. Okay. So SPY and the Qs have 80 to 90% of my focus. And for those of you asking, what about Apple, Josh? What about Nvidia? What about Amazon? Right? Is Amazon gonna rip today? Guys, it depends on the broader markets. So if you see the SPY and the Qs dumping, I don't care how good the long looks on Amazon. I don't care how good that long opportunity looks on Amazon. If the SPY and the Qs start dumping, you're going to see Amazon follow. Okay? If you see the SPY and the Qs ripping, you're going to see Amazon and these individual stocks correlate and move with the broader markets. However, if you see sideways choppiness, right? More sideways action, not tons of volatility on the SPY and the Qs, that will make it easier to see some of these individual stocks actually do their own thing for once, right? Now, yes, they're still going to correlate with the SPY and the Qs to a certain extent, but there's a higher chance that we see these individual stocks able to kind of move on their own if we don't see tons of volatility with the SPY and the Qs. But if we do see tons of volatility with the SPY and the Qs, regardless of the individual stock you're looking at, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, you need to be watching the SPY and the Qs because that's going to dictate where these individual stocks go. Okay, so if I'm correct and it's more slow, choppy leading up to these the CPI data on Friday, that's going to help stocks like Amazon do their own thing. We will be watching Amazon today. Airbnb, absolutely. I'm watching Square as well, guys. Okay, so there's going to be 3 individual stocks that I'm watching today, but it really starts with the SPY and the Qs. So depending on what the SPY and the Qs do, that's how I'm going to transition over to stocks like Amazon, Airbnb, and Square. Okay, but to start the day, we need to be patient. We need to sit back and relax and really just wait to see where the best opportunity is. And how are we going to figure that out? Watch your breakout scanner. Watch your high day momentum scanner. Watch your halt resume scanner for these penny stocks. Simply watch the SPY and the Qs. Okay, look and see what's the direction. And based on the direction, that's how you need to plan your day with these individual stocks. Amazon, Tesla, Apple, if you're watching those individual stocks. But in my opinion, why make your job harder than what it needs to be? If you know that the SPY and the Qs are going to move these individual stocks, why not just trade the SPY and the Qs? Get to know the SPY and the Qs. The contracts are cheaper. You got 3 expirations a week. You're going to probably make a bigger percentage gain trading the SPY and the Qs, especially with those 3 expirations. You got daily expirations today. If you're on the right side of the trade, you're talking triple-digit returns. Why make your job harder than what it needs to be? Simplify the process, okay? The SPY and the Qs are moving. I think it's best to just watch the SPY and the Qs. If the SPY and the Qs aren't moving and we see these individual stocks moving around, then yes, let's get prepared and let's make it happen. I will be looking to add Amazon to my long-term portfolio this week, just so you guys know. So we're all set, ready to rock. We have 40 seconds to go. Let me load up my broker. That would be good, right? That'd be nice. You know, out of sight, out of mind. Did not really have too much opportunity in pre-market. I have 0 trades on the day, but I am planning on adding to some of my long-term positions. Not a lot, little by little this week. Again, not a lot, but I'm going to start cherry picking. I'm going to start dabbling a little bit. All right. So right now we have 4 seconds until we start our day, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have some fun. The market's open. Number 1 stock again. Let's watch DIDI out of the gate, back down at 288. Let's keep QNRX on watch as well here, and then YMTX on watch as well. But I'm going to start with DIDI. Let's just focus on this, and let's really be watching that high day momentum scanner. Let's be watching our breakout scanner and see where that volume goes. All right, so we're all set, guys. Watching DIDI down towards around that 287. Yeah, sometimes after a split, data is unavailable. 100%. Sometimes after a stock split, it takes a little bit of time. So I am watching DIDI for the washout long to 288, guys. Washout long to 288, DIDI, maybe for a little bit of a bounce here on DIDI. Again, I like these potential washout longs. We are washing out right out of the gate, back down to 288. Let's see if we get a nice little pop here around 288. I'm filled at 289 here. Let's see if it bounces a little bit right off that 288 level. For a little bit of a washout long, maybe grab about 5 to 10 cents out of this, back up towards around 3. If we don't start bouncing here in a moment, I will be walking away from this. Again, that was a dip buy opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and walk away from that trade. I'm going to go ahead and walk away from DIDI. Tried catching it right here at that 288 for that washout long opportunity. It's just getting smoked below that level. So I'm going to go ahead and walk away for now. Right now, let's shift our focus over here to YMTX team. YMTX, we are holding the trend line. We are holding the VWAP. Let's see what YMTX has coming on up. So again, let's see what YMTX has coming on up, traders. Right now, we are going to just watch YMTX at this point in time. And again, we're watching these scanners, right? YMTX, breakout scanner. QNRX was hitting that breakout scanner. So right now, team, again, like I said, take it easy at the start of the day. Be calm, cool, collected. Okay, wait for the best opportunity. I tried to grab DIDI off that 288 washout long. Just didn't work out. But right now, team, wait to see where the focus is. Where is the action? Where is the opportunity, right? If you guys don't get your first trade until 10 o'clock, so be it. If it takes until 11 o'clock to get a good trade, so be it. If it takes until 3 o'clock to get a good trade, so be it, right? Just wait for that opportunity. to really come to you. And I looked at DIDI as an opportunity that was coming to me for the washout long. I nailed it at 288. I wasn't liking how we were dropping still. I cut it. Could that have been a profitable trade? Sure, it could have been. But at that point in time, I felt the need to cut it, to not be a bag holder, to not be greedy, to just walk away. And if it ever sets back up, guess what? I can always look for a re-entry, guys. I could always look for a re-entry if it sets back up. That's the beautiful thing about trading stocks. Once you blow up an account, you're done. But if you can cut the trade and manage that risk and walk away, guess what? If the stock sets back up, you're good to go. You could always re-enter the trade if you really like it and you see a reason to re-enter. Maybe a little bit of a red to green move on DIDI. Let's see, guys. If this is a failed red to green move, okay, we open and we drop into a level of support. We find support and we start the transition and we have a red to green move breakout, that could get this thing going. But if this is a failed red to green move, I do think we could see DIDI back down at 265. I would look to short DIDI. It is easy to short. So right now, team, it's all about being patient. Where's the best opportunity? Where are traders going? Are they here on QNRX? Well, not really at this point in time. Not really. QNRX could come back down towards around that 73-cent level. YMTX, not really doing too much out of the gate, guys. Watch it above your VWAP. Watch it above this trend line. All right? Maybe we can start to see some volume move in back above that 220 level to hit that high at 227, up towards around 250. If you start cracking the trend line here and you start cracking the VWAP, watch for this to come back down to 2 and then 195. But if we can start breaking 220 here, you can see a quick spike to 227. And then once you break 227, watch for this thing to open on up towards around 249. Let's watch DIDI and see what it's going to do here coming on up, team. What's the SPY doing? The SPY is sitting right at Friday's high. Remember, that first level to really pay attention to here on the SPY was your 414 level. If you start cracking below 414 and you start to see a nice little retest, that could be your confirmation to take a short back down towards around Friday's low of day, right around 409. So let's watch the SPY coming on up. The Qs have already, no. The Qs high a day, no, I'm sorry. The Qs high a day was that 310.45. So that could be an area that you watch the Qs, right around that 310.45. If you get a retest, you see that rejection, you could look to take it back down towards around Friday's open at 309. And then once you start cracking that 309 level here on the Qs, your next target to the downside would be 305. So that's what I would be looking at here on the SPY and how to be looking at the Qs. The square may be giving me my opportunity, guys. So square may be setting up here in a moment for my trade on square. If it does, I'll walk you guys through it. But right now, I'm not chasing it to the short side. And honestly, I'm just watching to see what the SPY does here around 414. And I'm looking to see what the Qs do here around 309. So you got AERC hitting that breakout scanner. What do we have going on here? Very light volume. Nothing too crazy. We'll still just keep that ticker in the back of our mind. But again, right now you're 9 minutes into the day. If you have not gotten a trade yet and you're sitting here like, my goodness, I'm doing something wrong. No, you're not. No, you're not. If you're sitting back, chilling, being patient, right, waiting for the best opportunity, you're being disciplined. You're being a professional. So wait back and sit back. Wait and sit back for your opportunity. All right, so those are the top 3 stocks. Right now, QNRX has room to fall back down towards around 73, 74 cents. Okay, DIDI, looking to see what the stock's going to do. Tried to get that little red to green move here. Couldn't get that red to green move. Now if it starts cracking on down, this could be a fantastic short on DIDI. Especially if we start cracking that low a day, we could see that pullback towards around 265. And then YMTX is still just fighting that trend line. So the top 2 stocks, in my opinion, QNRX, watch this one down towards around that 73, 74 cent level. And then DIDI here. Let's see what DIDI is going to do coming on up. We got about 4 more minutes on YouTube. So if you have any questions, let me know. We can find you a quick win. Try and find you a quick win, but I'm not going to force it. All right, if there's nothing that clearly stands out, I'm not going to sit here and force a trade to try to get you guys a quick win. If we find a great opportunity, I'll call it out. We'll break it down. If not, you guys know how we're trading today. You guys are prepared and ready to go. And at least some point during the week, we'll get you a quick win, right? We had VERU on Friday. We had SOP on Friday. So we'll always have time during the week, during these lives, to get you guys a quick win. But I'm not going to sit here and force it, and you guys take a unnecessary loss. Rod already coming in with some profits. Kevin already coming in with some profits as well. $2,773 in profits. Rod on the SPY, a quick 104 to start the day. Good job, traders. Way to make it happen. What do I think about the markets in general? Like I started off saying today, I really lean more towards the choppy side, in the market. But if I'm wrong, it's okay to be wrong. I'll accept it up front and say, yep, I was wrong, but I have a plan just in case. So my plan right now and my approach is I think the market's going to be relatively choppy like it was Friday. But if I'm wrong, I have a plan in place, right? If I'm wrong, I'm looking to take calls on the SPY over 417.36 to the 50 SMA around 423. If I'm wrong and we see the SPY cracking on down and it looks to be a good short, which would be below that 413.93 level, we could look to short this back down to 409.62. So that's my plan for the market. I really want to see, are we going to really be choppy? Are we actually going to get a sense of direction and start trending maybe up into resistance or back down into some levels of support? Right now, I'm personally sitting back on the SPY and the Qs, waiting to see what really happens. All right, there's a lot of chop Friday. I expect there to be a lot of chop this week leading up to CPI data. That'll be released here on Friday. I know some of you guys are watching QNRX here for the break of the downtrend. So not only do you want to get a break of this downtrend team, you also want to break back above 81 cent bounce, that 81 cent bounce level, that 81 cent bounce level. So you see that 81-ish cent level was support, and we cracked below it. We can see it's a little bit of resistance right now. Want to see the 81-cent break on high volume, as well as this downtrend, in order to see this bad boy back up towards around 92 cents. And we know this is a low float stock. And when it starts moving, it's going to start moving. So keep this on close watch above that 81-cent resistance. Also a break of the downtrend. That's going to get this thing going back up towards around 91, 92 cents. So right now we're just sitting back being patient, guys. That's it. Sitting back being patient. Where is the best of the best opportunity? It could definitely be here on QNRX coming on up. All right, the SPY and the Qs remain a little indecisive. Right, just remaining a little indecisive at this point in time. There's no reason to jump the gun, especially on those daily expirations. You jump the gun and you find yourself on the wrong side of the trade, then yeah, you're going to start getting hit pretty hard. So here we got the QNRX break. And if QNRX ever breaks, you know, that 92, 95 cent level of resistance, I would expect to see it right at $1. All right, right at $1 on QNRX. All right, if it ever breaks $1, you have potential to 112, right around 112 on QNRX. This right now is the #1 stock to be watching. Not a lot going on with DIDI at the moment. Not a lot going on with YMTX or CRIS at the moment. Right now, traders are all over on QNRX. So this is where we need to be as well. Could be a really ugly cup and handle too, guys. If you throw this on like a higher time frame, maybe like a 15-minute, you can kind of see this really, you know, decent on a 15-minute cup and handle breakout. You could really see this on a 5-minute as well. So nice big U shape, nice big high or low. We start breaking here, this stock looks great. And we'll be looking for another setup. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, over on YouTube, enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you guys enjoyed our session. Nice little 30 minutes open floor discussion, followed by 45 minutes of getting you guys prepared, really dissecting this market to make sure that you're focused on the right opportunity to lock in consistent profits. Again, my goal is to get you guys quick wins, but my main goal is to get you guys prepared for the day. All right, quick wins today. There really wasn't a lot. Maybe you guys grabbed it for the downtrend break and 81 break on QNRX, maybe, but it wasn't really a quality alert. It was mainly just an awareness discussion, all right? Again, my goal is to get you those quick wins, but my goal as well is to make sure that I don't put you in a position to lose unnecessary money. I want to make sure that they're the best of the best setups and that we can come in and provide very good education behind those setups to give you a quality alert. Again, at least sometime during the week, you'll get at least one from me. You guys will be able to lock in some simple cash, but most importantly, you guys are learning along the way. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys back here at 8:30 tomorrow morning as we do it all over again. Enjoy your day, team. Trade smart, trade safe. So right now, my #1 watch is QNRX. I want to see if she comes back down towards around 85 cents. Just want to see if it comes back down towards around 85 cents. Maybe we get a bounce. Then that bounce could actually lead to a nice little follow through for a nice little leg up to $1. So let's see. Right now, it looks like it wants to go here, though. Right there. It looks like it wants to start getting some action here.